Are you dreaming of leaving your corporate job, but you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure of your next step? Well, you are not alone. And in today's video, I'm breaking down the 5 most painful mistakes that people make that are keeping them trapped in the corporate world and how you can avoid them to fully create your own successful business. Hi, everybody. Shanice Upshur, founder of Cornerstone Coaching, the corporate escapee. And this is a journey that I took for myself a few years back. I had been in a corporate role for about 15 years and I was, kind of had a decision in front of me. Was I going to stay or was I going to go ahead and launch my own business? You can see where that landed me. And I want to take some time and kind of share with you some of the things that I wish I knew when I started on this journey. So, mistake number 1. What is the biggest mistake that I see people make that I've worked with? A mistake that I even made a bit myself, and that is not having a clear plan. So the first mistake, jumping in without a clear plan. Many people feel so desperate to leave. They want to change a scenery, that they just jump without knowing where they're going. And while tenacity, courage, bravery are all things that you need in this journey of entrepreneurship, it can lead to burnout, wasted resources, and frustration. So take the time to figure out, what does that look like? Create your roadmap, like our escape plan. Evaluate, strategize before you make that jump. What are your goals? How are you going to get there? What does this look like? Who are you going to serve? How are you going to serve them? All of these things really need to be well thought through, incorporated into your plan, and in place to allow you to be set up for success as quickly as possible. And if you don't have a clear plan, you can be setting yourself up for failure to start, or maybe not even having as fast to start as possible. But you want to make sure, if nothing else, that you do have a plan in place. The second thing, and this is this is one of my pet peeves. You'll see people talk about waiting for the perfect time, right? When is it the best time to start my business? When is it the best time to leave my job? When is it the best time to launch a new product? When is the best time to announce my website or my podcast or whatnot? Guess what? There's never a perfect time. I heard somebody say the other day, the best time to plant a fruit tree is 20 years ago. Well, guess what? We can't go back in time. We can't, plant that seed 20 years ago. So go ahead and start today. And it was funny. I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, man, that is so true. I remember when I moved into this house 2 years ago, walking out into the front yard and be like, man, I really wish there was like a strawberry bed here. We love strawberries at my house. Obviously, couldn't go back in time and plant a strawberry bed. So I went ahead and did it that day, or maybe like the next day, the weekend, nice weather, whatever. Went ahead and planted that strawberry bed. And now we have strawberries out the wazoo. I give strawberry plants away, make strawberry jam, all the weird things. But yeah, you really can't go back. You just got to pick a day and go for it. I highly encourage you, if there is something that you've been putting off, with the idea of, it needs to be a balmy 72 degrees, a 5 mile per hour wind going. I need the sun to be just right. Go ahead and get it done today. The perfect time to start is when you decide to start and take action. The third thing, and when I see people do this one makes me really, really sad. So the third mistake that I see people do is undervaluing their skills. So a lot of times I have people ask, what is it that I have to offer? Now, corporate professionals, they do tend to underestimate their value of their skills outside of the corporate world, and maybe not make that connection between, I have this skill set, this is how I can serve other people. And it's one of those things, because it's like everybody has all of these amazing skills and talents, and how can we get people to share them when they don't recognize the value of those skills themselves? I'll share a little story. So I was working with this client a while back, and they had this amazing, not just skill set, but experience and a point of view that was so unique, was so amazing, that I was like, wow, this is what you need to focus on, and it's going to be fantastic. Here's how you can serve the world. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. And I was so excited for this particular client. And they kept telling me, I don't think people are going to care about this. No one's going to care about, this isn't going to be well received. And they push back. And then maybe about 2 weeks ago, they called me and they were like, everywhere I look, people are talking about the thing you told me to talk about. Everybody's talking about, doing this particular thing, how to be better. I'm seeing all of these programs pop up about it. And you're right, like my skill set would have been perfect in this arena. So I bring that story up for two reasons, right? Sometimes you do have to just push yourself and even if you don't fully see it, just put it out there. How it's received. The other reason that I bring it up is because I think it highlights the importance of the fact that maybe there's other people around you who can see your skills a little bit differently than you do. So if you find yourself in that situation where you're not quite sure what skill sets you have, or you're not quite sure how things might be received, go ahead and reach out to friends, family, your support system, and ask them. You might be surprised what they would say, and they may look at your skill sets in a completely different way than you do. And sometimes magic can happen in those moments. So your skills are your greatest asset. Do not let imposter syndrome hold you back, right? You've got these skills, you've got these talents. I'm excited to see what you put out in the world, and I know everybody else is as well. The fourth mistake that I see people do is trying to do it alone. You probably hear the term like solopreneur. I don't even know if I pronounced it right. And so people hear that and they think they're like, okay, it's, just me, myself, and I. And while that can be the case, right? Here in this room, it's me, myself, and I, and my dog right now. You want to make sure that you're tapping into others, whether that is solely for a support system, which is perfectly fine. But sometimes there's these really great connections that can occur. There's really great partnerships that occur. So entrepreneurship, while it can feel kind of isolating, it doesn't have to be. So when I think about my time in the corporate world, and I worked in a call center building, so I had a desk mate to my left, a desk mate to my right. They were both, I could stretch out my arms and touch them kind of thing. So I don't know, what is that? Less than 5 feet. So I had tons of, and there were rows and rows and rows. So tons of people in my office. And then you go from that to here where, like I said, me, myself, and my dog. So while it can feel self-isolating, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you do have to kind of put a little bit more effort into making those connections. So that may be, working with a coach, or finding a mentor group or like-minded individuals that you can surround yourself with. But that community and mentorship is so, so important. So that's a big part of why I really wanted to put out this 3-day escape challenge, so that people can connect with like-minded individuals and create these escape plans together, execute these escape plans together, and go from the corporate world to the business world of entrepreneurship. But find your people, find these connections. And honestly, when you surround yourself with the right people, you'll move faster, you'll move with more confidence. And like I said, the connections and sometimes even the offerings that come out of these connections can be life-changing. So I know I've talked to you guys before about the fact of, when working on one of my programs, deciding that I wanted to include some assistance, some support for individuals to be set up really, really well from a financial aspect, so that they could then turn around, or have their businesses set up really well from a financial aspect, so they could turn around and get grants and different things like that. And while that's something that I've done for myself, not necessarily something that I really wanted to teach or, deep dive on, but my brother-in-law, he's a CPA, so he was able to come in and support that portion of the offering for me, and we were able together to help out my customers and my clients in a fantastic way. So again, really fantastic, amazing partnerships can come out of these connections. So don't be afraid of them. Lean into them. If you're a little bit of an introvert rather, go ahead and push on this one, right? This is one of the things where tapping into that uncomfortability will pay dividends for you in the future. And then the last thing that I want to call out, as far as the mistakes that I see people make, is focusing on perfection instead of execution. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is actually my second time going live on this, or what I thought was the first time I actually hit the rehearsal button, not the live button. So, again, over here still making mistakes, but I told myself from the beginning and have been very open with you guys, like my goal is to do 20 of these YouTube videos and then figure out how to make it perfect from there. I didn't want to, really burden myself with the idea of I'm not going to do it until I figure everything out, until I figure out all the camera settings, all the lighting settings, all of this, all of that. Old Shanice would have probably found a course on Coursera or something, figured out how to be perfect in YouTube, and then go ahead and launch. But guess what? I would have been maybe 4 or 5 months behind. And honestly, it probably wouldn't have been perfect because you learn so much in the doing of things. So do not focus on perfection, focus on the execution, focus on the consistency of doing things again and again and again. So unfortunately, perfection can be the silent killer of dreams. I know in our minds, right, especially in the corporate world, like this perfection is this amazing thing. And while it's something to, a goal to kind of shoot for, don't let it stop you from taking those forward steps. So action, 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 no matter how small they are, make sure you're being consistent on working your business every single day. Done is better than perfect all day, every day. So take that messy action and refine it as you go. So those are the 5 painful steps that I wanted to share, or 5 painful mistakes, along with some of the things that I would encourage you to do in order to avoid, circumvent those. So not having a clear plan, waiting for the perfect time, undervaluing your skills, trying to do it alone, and focusing on perfection instead of execution. Make sure you run away from those, right? Not a fan, will not help you. 0 stars for any of those. And honestly, we would love to have you on our 3-day escape challenge, where we walk through how do we make sure that we don't do these and we create these amazing escape plans instead. So we'll go through, we'll create these escape plans, we'll begin the execution of them. Hope to see you there. I cannot wait for the amazing progress that we all make together as we go out there and save the world. Hope that everybody has a fantastic rest of the week.